Welcome to trial exam part 2. We are up to question 4. And that's this question. Here we have to evaluate what does this expression result in. Okay, when we see this kind of question, we first have to see the order. We have to know whether we really understand the order. If there's brackets, you do that. Okay, first of all, I skip this one. Unary operators, that means negative, like if you had a negative 4 in front of it. Oh, I've just put that there. Let's delete that. That wasn't in the question. Negative in front of that, we do that first. And then the brackets. We see the brackets. If there's any brackets, we do the brackets first. Now, that's the innermost bracket first, and then the outside one. And then we look at the multiplication, division, and modulus. A lot of you get confused with this. This is nothing to do with the percentage sign. I mean, it is the percentage sign, but it's not calculating the percentage. It's the modulus. Modulus means the remainder of integer division. So if you divide 5 by 3, how many times does 3 go into 5? Once, and the remainder is 2. So 5 modulus 3, the remainder will be 2. The answer is 2. So that just means the remainder of integer division, modulus. So in this case, we don't have any brackets, so we go on to see this multiplication division. And since these are all the same level, okay, we don't go and do modulus of this first. We just go from left to right. So 25 divided by 4. I know naturally you would expect to be a decimal point number, but it is not, because 25 and 4 are both integers. The result will be an integer. So 4 goes into 25 6 times, and no decimal places because it's integer division. And then plus, we don't actually carry out the plus operator. We do the next one, which is 4 times 10, which is 40. And then modulus 3. Okay, so we're still going 6 plus. We don't do the addition because we want to finish all the ones that are at the same level first. So 40 modulus 3. How many times does 3 go into 40? 13 times. That makes it 3 times 13 is equal to 39. And the remainder is 1. So here we are looking at the remainder. We first see how many times does it go in and what's the leftover. That's 1. And so the answer is 7. Okay, so we go back to the question paper. So the answer here is 7. Okay. Now let's look at question number 5. Question number 5 is, which of the following is valid? Whenever you declare something as a floating point number, what goes into it, the value that's going into it, must have an F. So the only one that has an F here is this. So that's the answer C. Okay, let's look at 6. 6 I've put down into Word document again. Okay, this should be called 6. Now with this, it's asking what is the output. Now this one can be quite tricky because here we are learning about, or well, here we are testing you on post and pre. Which one do you do? If this minus minus is after, you carry out the whatever the operations that's in there first, and then after carrying the steps out, then you do the decrement. But if it is before the variable name, you do that first. Okay, so that's what we are testing you on this case here. Now let's see. Integer number is set to 0 to start with, and then number is set to 10. Then after that, you do this step. When you do this step, what's the result of this step? If 10 is in there, you do 10 minus minus, the answer becomes 9. But then, when you do this step, you should print the number first and then decrement it by 1. So print first, most important, okay? So what would be the output? Will be 9. Okay, and then decrement number by 1, which leads number to become 8. Although it prints out 9 at the end of this segment of code, the result of number will be 8, but it prints out 9 because it prints out first and then decrements it. Okay, let's do another example in the same way. Like, let's say we had number is equal to, well, let's do x, it's quicker. X is equal to 5 and y is equal to 2, and if we have z is equal to x plus y, obviously the answer will be 7. But if we have something like this, x plus y plus plus, what this does is it will add the 2 first, x plus y, which is 7. Okay, so the answer will be 7, but y will become 8. Sorry, not 8. Y will become 3. Okay, after the processing is going on, after that, then it increments y by 1, which becomes 3. But if you had z is equal to x, let's say if you had it this way and you had minus minus, okay, what we're doing here is doing this first, which is minus minus first, which is decrement x by 1 first. Therefore x becomes 4, and then do the formula, which is what? So 4 plus 2. So you've got 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6, right? So that's how you work out that answer. Can you see how this happens first and then the rest of the formula? But here, when it's post, it happens after. When it's on the right side, that means after. This means before. So it's easy to remember, kind of. When it's on the left, it happens first, and then the formula. Then if it's after, it happens after. If it's, I mean, on the right side, it's later on. Okay, now question number. So the answer to that is 9. Okay. And if it is kind of trick question, you might guess 8 as the wrong answer. That is the wrong one. Okay. Now number 7 is if a letter is a character variable, and which of the following if statements is written correctly. If it's a char, letter is char, we know that when we are comparing a char is stored and compared as with a single quote. Okay, so that's the one. It's one of these two. Okay, that's part of the answer. Can you see how we are eliminating? We don't even look at these two because it's got double quotes, and double quotes are for strings. And then we see if we were going to compare, because within an if statement we cannot assign a into the letter. Even though there's nothing wrong with this statement, letter equals a, we are storing value a into letter. We cannot do that within an if statement, because within an if statement we must have a Boolean expression, which means comparison. Okay, this is comparing. Is this saying is it equal to a? Does letter contain a? And if it does, that becomes true. Okay, so this is the correct answer. This is double equal. That was an easy question as well. Okay, let's look at number 8 in the next video clip.